Guitar Hero is a game whose popularity is nothing more than a burning memory. After around 5 years of dominance, it fell off pretty hard to the point that I don't think anybody who was born after 2005 really knows what Guitar Hero was, or even understands how big the game really was. Almost poetically, it had its 5 minutes of fame and then disappeared. But with many of those who did live through the hype, the idea of Guitar Hero is pretty much just a rhythm game that was popular during the late 2010s. Now, personally, I think that sells the game a little short, and while I do agree that that was the case with the later games, I do think that the first 3 games just had so much charm that it really does not deserve the name of just being just another rhythm game. The Guitar Hero name and brand was tainted by Activision, not by the developers themselves. If anything, the original developers, Harmonix, really were the ones who made Guitar Hero what it was. If it was anybody else handling the game, it probably would have flopped. And let me prove this to you by telling you one of the things that many people don't know about Guitar Hero 1, 2, and 3. Guitar Hero not only got its popularity because of its intuitive and innovative gameplay, but it also licensed some very popular rock songs from nearly every era. You got songs from Dick Dale, Ozzy Osbourne, Audioslave, Jane's Addiction, Queen, Rush, Avenged Sevenfold, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Foghat, Kiss, Megadeth, Muse, Living Colour, Queens of the Stone Age, and so many more. The song selection alone pretty much revitalized the popularity of rock music in the mainstream. The final hurrah before, the mid-2010s where rock was overtaken by rap. What people don't realize is that in the first 2 games, almost all of the songs were not the original recordings made by the original artists. They were all covers made in-house by Wave Group Sound. And while a huge reason for this was because a cover version is a lot cheaper to include in a game than the original recording, especially since the first Guitar Hero game wasn't expected to be a big hit, it was also supposed to fit the tone of celebrating music. How do you celebrate music? By playing it yourself. And that's what you pretty much did in the game. The storyline of the game is literally just a cover band that makes it big. As ridiculous as that sounds. Now, that isn't the only other reason why they had to go with covers. The other reason is, surprisingly, game design. You see, a lot of the songs that were included in the first 3 games weren't necessarily the hardest songs in the world. Most of the songs in the intro part of the game consist of the most iconic songs in rock music, and these don't necessarily translate to the most exciting songs. Some of these songs in their original form are pretty boring to play, either being too repetitive or not stimulating enough in the difficulty department. So of course, by making their own cover versions, they can add into the songs in order to make them a lot more fun to play. Not only feeding into this whole idea of being more constructive with music, which is what a lot of musicians like to do, which is add their own flavor to existing music, but also lets Wave Group have their little creative liberties, leading to some covers actually being a lot better than the original songs. In fact, you'll notice that a lot of the songs actually have endings instead of just fading out. Some of the most notable covers include Guitar Hero 1's Ace of Spades, Guitar Hero 2's Surrender, and Guitar Hero 3's Rock and Roll All Night, which instead of using the studio version, which is actually kind of bland, they instead covered the live version of the song, which included the epic solo. Of course, not every cover was made well. Some covers were really lacking. Personally, the one that hurts me the most is Audioslave's Coach Heist being extremely butchered. But to be fair and to cut them some slack, Chris Cornell's voice is nearly impossible to emulate. But anyway, these covers really gave the game a lot of charm. But unfortunately, after Guitar Hero 2, and after Guitar Hero became a much bigger phenomenon, they decided to just license the master recordings of the songs rather than create their own cover versions, either because of time constraints or because since Guitar Hero was this much bigger deal, then they just needed to up the quality by having the original recordings that people would love. The only times they would do covers was when it was absolutely necessary, such as with, of course, Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss, or by the Sex Pistols song Anarchy in the UK, whose original recording cannot be found because the studio that hosted them could not find them. Somebody stole them or it went missing. Who knows? And after that point, that's pretty much what Guitar Hero did, and unfortunately, I think this hurt it in the long run. Now, don't get me wrong, Guitar Hero 3 had one of the most phenomenal soundtracks of all time, and using the master recordings instead of covers definitely did help cement that. But with the focus on the band as a whole, the prices of licensing master recordings going up, and a huge focus on using popular songs, the setlist became a lot less fun to play through. And without the flexibility of covers to make repetitive songs a lot more fun to play, the game really started to become a chore. Look, I love Interpol, but Slow Hands really isn't that fun of a song to play through. It's just up and down strumming. It's not Cliffs of Dover. And just like that, Guitar Hero did lose a lot of its charm. which of course being a money-making machine for Activision makes total sense. They corporatized the game way too hard, started milking it so much that it basically killed the series. But that's all I pretty much have to say about the game. Hopefully you learned something new today, and if you've never played any of the Guitar Heroes, I highly recommend them. You can play Clone Hero for free, or you can try getting a copy of Guitar Hero 3 online. I'm not gonna tell you how you can do it, but let's just say that it's not available for purchase. Anyway, if you found this video interesting and you learned something new, please tell me in the comment section down below. What was your opinion on Guitar Hero growing up? Do you also agree on my opinions with the music choice, and should they have gone back to covers eventually? I'd like to hear your feedback in the comment section below. If you found this video interesting, like it if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it. If you'd like to see more content just like this, make sure to subscribe. And if you'd like to support me, my Patreon is down in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.